We come to video number 2. Professor Tahir Saab, your first book had come out in 1968. How have you managed to remain consistently active as an author during all these decades?
When I joined the Faculty of Law in Aligarh Muslim University as a lecturer, I was told that nobody at that time in the faculty was competent or ready to teach Hindu law. So I took it as a challenge and I said I'll teach Hindu law, both at the bachelor's and master's level, and made necessary preparations and then taking classes in Hindu law, both for LLB and LLM students, and my classes became very, very popular there. That prompted me to do a book on Hindu law. After I left Aligarh, 2 years later I came to Delhi and joined the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. That was not an assignment of my liking. So I spent most of the time in preparing a book on the basis of the lectures on Hindu law which I had delivered in Aligarh Muslim University. This is how my first book came in 1968 under the title Changing Law of the Hindu Society. And the way that book was received in legal circles and it was soon prescribed in many universities, that was my main inspiration for further writing books. And my last book has come this year in January 2023.
That's quite remarkable. Now, having regard to your work that you've titled as Reminiscing on Law Brains, Bench, Bar and Academia, that came in print in 2014, who amongst the jurists covered by you were your main or major inspiration?
If you want me to cite two names in that matter, number one would be Justice Muhammad Hidayatullah, who was in the Supreme Court for about 12 years. For 10 years he was a judge and then he became the Chief Justice. When I joined the Indian Law Institute, he was the Chief Justice of India and he was ex officio President of the Indian Law Institute. Soon after joining the Indian Law Institute, I had received the fellowship offer from London. I had to go to London University. I had received the offer earlier, but that was the time for me to go. And I was not entitled to any leave. But Justice Hidayatullah exercised his privilege and he sanctioned extraordinary leave to me for going to England. So that was a great inspiration for me. I always regard him as my godfather. And then when he became the Vice President of India, his doors were always open for me and I used to go and meet him there. When he was the Chancellor of Jamia Millia Islamia, he nominated me as his nominee there on the university court. So he was my godfather, actually really a father in the sense. Number two, I will place Justice Krishna Iyer. Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer was always my great inspiration for doing research work, for taking a liberal stand on many aspects of law, and whenever I required, I used to seek his guidance. And you will be surprised to know that out of my 21 books, 5 have forewords by Justice Krishna Iyer.
That's quite remarkable. And next question that comes to my mind is that how do you think your work on family law can contribute to its development in our country?
Well, in fact, I might humbly say that it has already contributed to the development of family law in the country, because my books since 1973 are being cited in court judgments. In 1973, the first judgment that cited my book was a Kerala High Court judgment. And surprisingly, the book that was cited by the Kerala High Court was in Urdu. My book on Muslim law in Urdu, published in 1972, that was cited by the Kerala High Court in 1973, and that opened the road for my recognition, for judicial recognition, for the judicial recognition of my books. Then judgment after judgment have cited my books. The first Supreme Court judgment to have cited me extensively was the famous Shahbano case. And the last Supreme Court judgment in which I have so far been cited is the Shaira Bano case on triple talaq. And that judgment cites me. There are 3 judgments in that case, and all 3 judgments cite my books very extensively. So, this I consider it as my humble contribution to the development of my family law, that since the judges of the higher courts, they were also fed up with the traditional interpretation of various laws, Hindu law and Muslim law. They always look for a liberal and modern interpretation, modern understanding of the laws, and they got the required material, required interpretation in my books, and so they made full use of it. I deem it as a great honor, but also as my humble contribution to the development of law, and hence the contribution to the nation, to my nation.
Thank you, Professor. It's very interesting, and this brings us to the end of video number 2. In the next video, we will talk about some of your other books. Thank you.